All right, moving on to that top political story that we're tracking here on Headlines today. Leaders of the erstwhile Janata Dal have announced their resolve to form a national political party under one banner. An anti-Modi front that will be worked out and led by Samajwadi Party Chief Mulayam Singh, Nitish Kumar, Sharad Yadav and KC Tyagi of the JDU, JDS Chief H.D. Devagowda, and representing the INLD was Dushyant Chautala and RJD Chief Lalu Prasad were among the leaders present at Mulayam Singh's residence this afternoon to kickstart the process of forming a unified front.
में समाजवादी पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष आदरणीय मुलायम सिंह यादव जी को अधिकृत किया गया है। सब लोगों ने उनको ऑथोराइज कर दिया गया है कि आगे पार्टियों को एक होना है, एक करना है। तो इसके लिए जो कुछ भी मोडालिटीज होगी, जो कदम उठाने होंगे, जो लोगों से चर्चा करके उसका स्वरूप तय करना पड़ेगा। तो इन सब चीजों के लिए हम सब लोगों ने मुलायम सिंह जी को ऑथोराइज किया है, वो अधिकृत किए गए।
All right, we're now going to talk about this political ambition that these parties have brought together. I have Javed Ansari joining me in the studio. Rohit Singh joins me live from Patna. Ankit Tyagi joins me live from Delhi. Javed, first, let me come across to you. It seems that it's political insecurity once again which is at play. This is an attempt yet again to counter the Modi juggernaut.
Well, you cannot grudge them the right to counter their opponent's juggernaut. After all, nobody is in politics for altruistic purposes. But obviously, several question marks continue to arise over the durability of such an alliance. This is not for the first time that these erstwhile Janata Dal parties have come together. They've done it on occasions in the past. They haven't ever lasted the distance, because within months or maybe a year or two they just disintegrate. So this has been the history. So if the past is anything to go by, serious question marks remain over the durability of such a combination. Now it's up to these leaders to try and prove their detractors wrong. But history is actually against them.
All right, do stay with me, Javed. I also have Ankit Tyagi joining me live from the capital. Ankit, what's the road ahead as far as this big political ambition of these parties is?
Well, everything as Javed was saying, of course, there will be questions asked about the durability. But for the first time, the only difference is that all these parties, apart from not making a morcha or a third front, they are uniting to make one single party. All these former Turks of the Janata Parivar. In fact, today, Nitish Kumar, former Chief Minister of Bihar and JDU leader, he came out and said that now they have authorized Mulayam Singh Yadav, Samajwadi Party chief, to work out the modalities of how these six parties, six of them are coming together, how they will come under one banner, under one election symbol, and of course, what would be the modalities to form this one single party. Remember, if that happens, if this Janata Dal 2.0 actually becomes a reality, there will be a bloc with 45 MPs in both the houses of the parliament, 30 MPs in Rajya Sabha. That will give them some bargaining chip, and of course, government at least in two states, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. But the first test, of course, would be A, to come together, and then B, the Bihar elections that are coming next year. That would be the first test of this party whenever it comes into formation.
All right, Ankit, I'm going to come back to you in a minute. Let's also try and get you some reactions that are coming in on that big political story.
सत्ता की लालच में जब इकट्ठा हुआ जाता है तो टूटने में देर नहीं लगती है। विचारधारा की बुनियाद पर अगर कोई पार्टी, कोई दल, कोई फ्रंट बनता है, वही आगे तक चल सकता है।
So the way in which Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad ji and Devagowda are coming together to form a party kind of thing, I believe it's more of non-serious business.
All right, and now we have Mr. Kohli, Nalin Kohli joining me on the phone line. Mr. Kohli, what do you make of this attempt of 5 splinter groups of erstwhile Janata Dal joining forces against the BJP?
Well, anybody in a democracy is entitled to decide what path they would like to charter for themselves. And the erstwhile fellow travelers of the so-called socialist movement, who have spent more time apart, if they choose to travel together, it's really their prerogative. However, with a historical perspective, it's been more amoebic. They have always split apart rather than carried together. And the question that arises is, in terms of individual aspirations and internal contradictions, what exactly is their mission just anti-Modiism cannot be a glue that will keep together people.
Mr. Kohli, would you say that this is political insecurity?
Well, that would be a question that would be logical to ask. Whether it is born out of political insecurity or a desire to be politically somehow relevant, or a desire to even believe that they have strength despite the poor performance in their respective states where they exist, which is Bihar and Uttar Pradesh primarily. It could be any one of these reasons.
Also, what do you think is the road ahead with this ambition that these 5 parties now hold? Because ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, there was this ambition to float the third front, which was a flop rather, and that's something even that the party heads came out and admitted to. Do you see this taking off at all?
Well, the road ahead is a road of contradictions, because there are hardly any complementarities. For example, the Samajwadi Party hardly has any presence, if at all, in Bihar, and cannot impact the political fortunes of the JDU there, and vice versa for the JDU in Uttar Pradesh. Both states, governance has taken backseat, controversy has been at the front end. So therefore, how they hope to tide over people's anger at the lack of development and governance, and the kind of controversial statements only that emanate from the leadership of either state, is the matter that people will see. They are not going to be taken in whether they form a mirage as a massive front, which actually does not have much to offer.
All right, Mr. Kohli, thank you so much for joining us and adding perspective to that big political story. Rohit also joining me live from Patna. Rohit, we're talking about a fight for survival here. How is this really playing out in Bihar?
Well, Vedika, as far as Bihar is concerned, absolutely 2 or 3 questions will be asked, because a grand alliance between Congress, RJD and JDU was formed 3 months back, and they fought a by-election also. So what happens to the Congress in that case? Because if RJD and JDU goes with the new party, then what happens to the Congress? Second question is that who will be the bigger leader in Bihar? Or if this party is formed, the new party is formed, who will be leading it? Will it be Nitish Kumar? Will it be Lalu Prasad Yadav? Who will be the chief minister candidate? Who will be the face of the party in Bihar? These are very basic questions that needs to be answered.
Yes.
And absolutely, as Ankit was also pointing, Bihar will be the first test, because before everything it happens very smoothly, these are the issues that needs to be tackled immediately.
Also, Javed, how do we see this playing out in Parliament? Because the numbers that Ankit even spoke about, there will be some leverage that they have, but will that be enough?
Well, it will be enough to create a problem for the government, especially in the Rajya Sabha. Maybe it may not count for much in the Lok Sabha. And they will have to work in tandem with other parties like the Trinamool Congress left and even the Congress party for it to be effective. On their own, it may not mean much. In the present situation, this is an alliance for the future. This may not have too much of an impact in the immediately in Parliament and outside, but perhaps for the future. And like Rohit was saying, the first real big test will be Bihar. They fought the elections together and won some of the by-elections. Now, if they can resolve the leadership question and fight unitedly in Bihar against the BJP, they'll be a force to reckon with.
All right, Ankit, Tyagi, Rohit and Javed, thank you so much for joining me on that top focus. Of course, we will keep a track on all the developments, all the reactions that come from different political parties on that top story.